does that make a difference in terms of how you interact with your team? Obviously, he got like they swapped roles, or at least not specifically roles, but in terms of captain, he went from a captain to a normal player. Do you feel like that has any impact on how you are able to interact with the team? Is that a positive thing, perhaps, that you know that that guy can make calls and that you can trust on?
It just depends. I'm not sure. I don't really know too much about him. Maybe he just wasn't comfortable, making those decisions for his team. And Resolution knows his team better than anyone. So. Yeah.
That is true. Of course, also Resolution has swapped roles. He went off lane and then back mid, which he seems more comfortable on. You like him a lot on the mid lane compared to on the off lane, right?
Coming into the tournament, he wasn't looking hot because he was kind of dying a lot. At the same time, his team really helps him. In this tournament, we didn't see a lot more Bane rotation to the mid lane helping him out. I think for the most part, it's been working better. And yes, now that he's playing these heroes that don't die, like Viper, Shadow Fiend, Dragon Knight, I like it much more because he's not dying, and when he's not dying, Resolution has a huge impact throughout the game.
Now, they're going up against Team OG. That's going to be a real challenge. And Team OG also is ready to take their place on stage. It seems like we have ourselves a fan favorite here in terms of teams on stage. OG. They had the easy route. They went 10-4 in their group stages and only had to play 4 games in total yesterday. They are looking strong. Of course, they're also your Frankfurt Major champions, and they are the clear favorites in this upcoming best-of-5 grand finals. Now looking towards, I believe we're having No-Tail up first. Is he gonna be playing his Meepo today, guys?
If Empire, lets him have it in a good game, they will absolutely pick it without hesitation.
Next to him,
Chris. His Rubik and his Tusk are just amazing.
Yeah.
A lot of people consider Crid the overall MVP of the Frankfurt tournament. I think he was the solid rock of the team. Made very, very few mistakes throughout the entire tournament. He had you could kind of say it for every one of OG's players. Like, the one way they won that tournament was that they actually just made few mistakes in general. Mm-hmm. And they've just found like this comfort zone for every player to have like 5 to 10 heroes that are really good with. Miracle in the shot here.
That's the difficult thing about playing against them. They have 5 to 10, maybe 15 heroes per player that they can pick for them. So it's just really difficult to draft.
I think it's hard to target the player. Again, we talked about it yesterday. You could try to target Fly. He's the player I think we've seen play least different heroes, but even him, he still has enough that if you target him with 5 bans, there's still 2 left for him. So you need to not think about targeting the player, you need to target the strategy and make sure you just get an overall good draft for yourself. I think outpicking OG right now is actually pretty difficult.
Or rather Shane mentioned that it was Empire to break the win streak that OG had earlier this Dota season, I can say, before the Frankfurt Major already. Perhaps you can call them OG Slayers. What do you think makes Empire the team that has a chance to beat OG?
I personally don't.
I don't know.
Okay, if you don't think so, then you can also say why you don't think so.
I think, you look, obviously it's a small sample size of this tournament, yes. But the 4 games OG played, Empire came the closest to beating them. They had a 3K gold lead and then they lost the game. That was the closest we saw anyone pressuring them. So with that in mind, I think Empire were the closest, but they were still pretty far away from winning the game. Mm-hmm. And they're the major champions. They played in a tournament where all the best teams in the world were, and they came from the lower bracket and beat everyone 1 at a time. So it's very difficult to say that a team like Empire, who, in my opinion, against 4CL, yes, they won 3-1, but I still think they showed quite a bit of weakness. I haven't seen that weakness out of OG, so I consider them massive favorites. Okay, of course, before going into the Frankfurt Major, they were not specifically considered the favorites to take that, and perhaps now being the favorites has some extra pressure on them. Well, we were able to talk to Fly about just that.
So far in this tournament, we've only played 1 best-of-3, but we took that 2-0, and we came here to win, and we're expecting to win, but we don't want to be overconfident and say we're going to win for sure. But this is what we came to do.
Very little outcome. It's a big problem. This is a decent eclipse, but there's just so much more in the tank for OG.
I think what makes us strong is the fact that we're more of an actual team where we're comfortable with each other, and we can talk about our issues and solve them instead of people just having, this animosity feeling towards each other, where maybe something bothers them but they won't say it, and that will kind of reflect on their play. So that's something that I think makes us really special, where we pretty much lay it all out and we deal with the problems instead of just keeping them in.
4 Clovers just getting absolutely smashed here by the lineup of OG, and GG is called. It's all too much. 31 minutes in, OG pretty much giving us the performance that we expected.
I don't really like being the favorites to a tournament because that means there's going to be more eyes on you, higher expectations. So I kind of just try to not really look at it and not really come here like saying, oh, we're the best and everyone's looking at us. I'm gonna just take the tournament as it is and, you know, play to win and not be arrogant or overconfident towards anyone, because anyone can win. You know, Dota is a game that the teams keep changing whoever's winning. So I think we're gonna have a good fight, but we came here to win and that's what we're gonna do.
Comfortable, confident, yet humble at the same time, somehow.
That's just Fly.
That's just Fly, in a nutshell.
Cool dude.
Cool dude indeed, and he's also able to keep it cool for his team. I believe that's the rock that they all rely on to keep things together. So we have got ourselves the grand finals coming up. What are we looking for seeing to try? Everybody agrees that OG is the favorites, right? So what are we looking forward to seeing from Empire to try and maybe not throw OG off guard, because perhaps you can't, because perhaps at least in a drafting you might not be able to outdraft them, but how are they going to try to bring down OG?
I think chaos.
Chaos?
Okay. That's, I was gonna suggest the complete opposite.
Oh, really?
I was gonna suggest just very, very stable lanes, because out of the 2 games that Empire played against OG, one of them they didn't get the laning stage off the ground, and it was just not a game at all. And I feel like Empire, if they could get their own game going, they have a much better chance beating OG. Now, I want to refer back to the game where Funnick played Axe. Remember that game where they draft Axe a good lane, and he was just running over the Juggernaut on the enemy side, and he was absolutely huge that game. So I think the 2 lanes you want to focus on is Funnick as well as Resolution. Silent generally finds his farm somewhere, somehow. I think it's maybe too greedy to try to win all 3 lanes at once and still have mid-game impact, but maybe laning stage is the way to go. At least that's my 2 cents.
I think the best approach, in my opinion, would be to make sure that Crit doesn't get Tusk, force him into his second comfort hero, which is Rubik, and then make sure you don't pick any heroes that Rubik is really good against.
Shaker, Queen of Pain.
Yesterday we saw them pick up Shaker and Queen of Pain following the Rubik pick, and you know, he just abused both those heroes throughout the entire game.
Would you not say that Empire might be able to deny the Rubik pick and get it for themselves, as a low dance is also a very well accomplished Rubik?
Yeah, that's fine. I don't think, I mean, OG doesn't pick a lot of heroes that Rubik could be very good against, but it's definitely an option. I don't think Rubik is that great of a hero right now, though, so I think that if you just don't pick heroes that Rubik is good against, that could be a good strategy point for them.
Okay, so in terms of style clashing, Shane, what are you expecting to see here?
The thing for me, the games yesterday was Miracle and his Viper. The guy just knows exactly how to play the hero. He goes like 1 first. He's just basically ungankable. We saw 4 Clovers trying, and it just doesn't work. I think you need to focus on him. He always farms really well. In the game you guys played against him, you kind of took Miracle's farm away, and you got to win in that game.
That's true. That was like dire SF. Yeah, we put a duel in against him and really just limited Miracle in the early game, and made sure that he, we warded his jungle, made sure that Shadow Fiend had no position to come back into the game, and just kept pressuring him as much as we could.
So I think that's definitely the way forward, like pressure Miracle.
How important is first pick in this series, you feel?
I don't think it's too important. I just think that, OG will always take that Shadow Fiend first pick, and Shadow Fiend on Dire is definitely beatable. Radiant, not sure, but just pressure him, make sure he can't come back through stacks in the jungle, and just keep pressuring and have the right heroes, plenty of BKB control, like I said before. And Shadow Fiend, without a Requiem coming off in a fight, is just not that strong of a hero.
Oh, Shadow Fiend is gonna get taken out here by Team Empire. They do have the first pick on the Radiant side though, so I'm surprised that they do take it up themselves.
Oh, they do have first pick. Okay.
Yeah. Speaking of first pick versus last pick, I guess you don't want to have OG last pick a Meepo against you, so
depends.
There's that.
like OG have a lot of different heroes, and some of them they pull out like very occasionally. The Meepo is obviously the talk of the town because it's a cool and unique hero that very few teams play. But they don't just pick Meepo 5th because, hey, we can also play Meepo. They pick it when it's really good.
Right.
And you don't need to ban it if you have the counters available. I think there was one of the games yesterday where we were talking about Meepo, and I was like, there's no way that hero would be good here for whatever team could have picked it. OG won't do it either. They'll look for the opening, so Empire need to identify in the second phase whether they have weaknesses against the hero and whether Miracle already has been picked a hero that he can play to open up for the no-tail Meepo, because Miracle doesn't play.
And they also have the thesco as well, which is another last pick that can definitely throw the draft really out there.
That's one teams are more aware of, though. That's a little bit more mainstream, if you will. A lot of teams find that an attractive pick.
Tusk Band, we're leaving with Bane.
Darkseer, Winter Wyvern.
I think Dazzle.
Night Stalker as well.
Are you guys surprised at all that Slaughter has really moved away from that first phase pick material and
I don't
really
think so.
fallen
I
off?
think he's pretty overrated. If people still think he's like a top tier pick, he's definitely a good hero, but he's not like a first two, like a Bane or a Wyvern or a Darkseer or something.
Teams learn more to play against it, and I think when you look at how the first phase bans usually go, there's always one of those good support counters that gets through. Either Bane, Dazzle, or Wyvern. All three of them are actually good against Slaughter with their defensive abilities, Defensive Nightmare, or Cold Embrace, or Shallow Grave, / Weave. There are always options for dealing with Slaughter, so I'm actually surprised they went with Bane. It's obviously a great pick, and they play well, but I wouldn't give Dazzle to OG if I had the choice in this game.
Is there a chance they won't pick up? Nope, never mind.
Look for another dual lane mid from Empire. They could even first two a Tiny if they wanted to.
They favor early Undying as well, don't they, OG?
I think they're going to
They do like Undying a lot. It's probably not the best pick right now into like an early pick Bane. Maybe if we saw like a Tusk come out early, pick it. I like Undying a lot against Tusk. That looks like it'll probably be like a 3-4 pick for Fly. But Fly is oftentimes their Dazzle player, or their Dazzle player, so he also plays the Undying, so that isn't super likely.
The Nai pick at the same time, of course.
It's expected. This was the obvious opener for me for OG. They get their Dazzle. The Gyrocopter is a hotly contested pick. They pick it for no-tail, keep options open for crit for second phase.
Gyro dissuading the Darkseer pick. It's very good for OG because both their core players could play it. It allows,
flexibility.
Yeah.
Darkseer and Bane also have minimal synergy. Darkseer actually has synergy with a lot of different supports. Bane has like nothing that combos.
You could surge him into grip.
When OG gets an early Dazzle, you always need to look out for Meepo, as well as Phantom Lancer, Brood Mother, maybe Beastmaster as well. Probably not Beastmaster unless they've done Beastmaster mid a few times, but it hasn't really worked out too much for them.
Do OG ever pick Gyro and PL in the same draft?
No.
So
sometimes Miracle will play Gyro, No-Tail usually plays it, and No-Tail always plays the PL.
5 seconds remaining.
Didn't Miracle play Gyro or PL mid a few times?
I don't think so.
Maybe.
That was another team, wasn't it?
No,
Miracle PL?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Well, can't count that out. I mean, if you guys want to talk about Meepo, so far it's good against Empire.
Yeah, it's great against Bane.
It's good against Bane, it's good against Night Stalker. You get him rooted. He can, like, Night Stalker is really good against a single target. He doesn't do anything against all those Meepos just cornering him with a Earthbind. He just gets blown up. He's a naturally tanky hero because of high armor, but 3 poofs and you're just dropping very quickly.
I mean, we asked Fly about Meepo, and he said that we just pull it out when they feel like teams have somewhat forgotten about him, and once you use it once, everybody's now expecting it, so they won't probably do it again.
And I don't think OG ever pick it apart from 5th. It's always their absolute trump card in the end. And considering that Empire had first pick, they also have last pick, so they do have a counter pick available.
It's probably going to be something that is in Empire's minds as well. So I wouldn't be surprised to see it banned out, just to get rid of the threat, so that you can play your own game and not have to worry about that.
AA is also a definite possibility for Empire. Have Funnick back on that Night Stalker again.
Darkseer with NS as well.
Still in the pool, yeah?
Said it wasn't so good with Bane. It's very good with NS, though. It seems to be, when it gets played as support, at least in this tournament, Night Stalker's been kind of underwhelming apart from with Darkseer.
That's true, but Gyro and Dazzle are both pretty good against Darkseer, especially in lane.
Just heal up the wave.
Team Empire's turn.
The Viper is still a possibility as well for Miracle to play for OG. Like have that frontline mechanism carrier for the early push with Gyrocopter. Into if you're kind of trying to split push against Night Stalker, it's not so great.
That's true. They are missing a mech hero. There's no Tusk or Doom for Moon, who those are heroes he oftentimes buys mech on for the team. So maybe Miracle will go first before the mech hero.
Is that what Empire is thinking about? If they don't ban out the Viper now, that OG's gonna just grab it up on the second phase?
I think this is a wasted ban, actually. I'm pretty sure OG wouldn't have picked Undying together with Dazzle.
They have done many.
Have they?
Yeah.
Isn't it like
It's
either
rare.
or
It's
for
rare
Fly?
because Fly plays both of them.
It's rare, but they have done it.
I guess Crit probably plays the Dazzle then.
Okay.
10 seconds remaining.
I think a Darkseer pick for OG would be very good.
I think we'll see Rubik as well. I think Rubik's very likely here for OG against the Bane.
It combos up well with Gyro as well, like just to lift into Rocket Barrage in lane.
And Moon plays an outstanding Darkseer as well. So those two leave the last hero open for.
Yeah, that would give them a mech hero.
Yeah.
No, they take out the Viper themselves and pick up Slaughter.
Empire's turn to pick.
The minus armor with the flat cannon. Oh boy.
Good vision against Night Stalker. Yeah, they have so much minus armor already between their heroes. I think it's likely we get to see when they have these picks, something tells me Miracle likes playing Invoker together with this, because when you have amplified damage, the Quas Wex actually still deals very significant damage.
Yep. I think it was No Tail or Fly when we interviewed them. They said that they are very comfortable playing with Slaughter on the Dire side because it just automatically secures you the late game if it gets long enough for Roshan multiple times.
How about TA? Does he play that ever, Miracle?
He does. I think Wind Ranger is probably more
Windranger,
likely.
yeah.
Wind Ranger's good too.
OG never picks Visage, right? We saw a lot of Slaughter Visage coming out from a team like Virtus Pro.
It's a Virtus Pro hero for sure.
But I guess I haven't seen the OG support players.
It used to be always no-till Visage.
10 seconds
As
remaining.
in Fnatic days,
long
when he
time,
was
yeah.
actually still playing support.
Well, didn't Fly play it? And there was this whole joke that Fly didn't even micro his bird.
Yeah,
I don't
but
think
yeah,
it was a joke. That wasn't a joke.
No?
I'm pretty
No.
sure No Tail actually micro.
he did actually micro the birds.
Okay.
Yeah,
Maybe
we
he
haven't
can do
seen
it while
OG
he's
play
playing
that.
carry too. Micro master.
Wait, what's left for Crit? He generally plays Bane, Rubik, Wyvern, or Tusk. Even the Undying is out. Am I missing any pick here? Did you just play that?
I mean, that's something that you talked about, right, Peter? Just forced crit on a hero that's not Tusk and
That's
not
true.
Wyvern.
Might be
And
playing a hero that's a little unfamiliar for him.
he used to be the Jakiro player for OG,
That's true. They might
but
actually.
they
be
don't pick the
considered.
hero anymore, so.
It's been a while. You can always make a comeback.
I think they want to keep Miracle's pick for last, so they won't grab that Invoker, for example, if that's what they're
I
thinking.
would think the same.
This has caught them off guard, actually. I think they wanted that Rubik really bad.
Yeah, I was expecting them to take that the third pick instead of the Slardar.
Yeah.
10 seconds remaining.
Okay.
It will be the Shadow Shaman for crit.
Team
That's something new.
Empire's turn to pick.
Good synergy with Amplify damage with the wards. They have so much physical. They actually have a good mix. Good for Roshan.
The push is crazy as well.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
He's played Shadow Shaman 6 times in his history. 3-3. 50%.
When was the last game?
They got a 50%
I don't
chance.
think I can find that in this
So
one.
then I would have put them at.
50% chance for OG is somewhat low, I would have to say.
Yeah, against Empire.
It is over 482 games. He's played 6 of Shadow
5
Shaman.
seconds remaining.
So against Rasta, a lot of times lineup when you're playing against Rasta, you want to fight before he just pops his wards down. So having some catch, so as soon as you see that Rasta walk up to your tower and plant the wards, you jump and kill him. Preferably before he gets the wards off, but either way, you want to. You're a super squishy hero, tons of control, so you can
So you
force them
blink
down
at
early in
him
a fight.
with the Sven and you kill him.
Yeah, tons of armor too from the Sven and the Wark right here, so I do like the pick a lot. Always a fan of Sven against Slardar.
10 seconds remaining.
So if we're mentioning Invoker earlier,
5 seconds
would it be a
remaining.
good pick into the Sven here? A lot of control for him, at least until he gets the BKB. And I guess even if he gets a BKB,
Empire's turn to
you could ice wall him before he gets a BKB and he still gets slowed.
Isn't Beastmaster really good in this game?
Beastmaster can be fine.
You combat the Night Stalker, you have control for Sven.
I think Invoker seems.
Yeah, Invoker's
I like
good.
Invoker a
10
lot, but
seconds
could it get banned here?
remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
What about the Alchemist that OG lean to sometimes?
Reserve time.
It's a possibility, not an. I mean, it's an okay.
They have enough minus armor, don't they?
I'm sure Alchemist is just always good whenever. There's no chance of them picking AA, so.
Taking their time on the last ban.
I'm sure Al can be fine.
They do take out the out. Okay, so
Dire
We're
team
expecting Invoker or Wind Ranger.
Windrunner is still really good,
Stone
yeah.
Pool.
Like physical damage.
I think Wind Ranger got a lot weaker with the Sven pick. All right.
Huskar.
There it is.
Team
Those
Empire.
fifth
Turn
pick.
I feel like Team Empire has
A lot of physical damage.
good
and
heroes
they're-
against Huskar.
They're all right.
You got the brain sap, dealing the last bit of burst if you need to. You got the Sven.
They got Dazzle though.
It's
That's true.
It's like whenever you think about all these heroes counter Huskar, it's like it's great, but the enemy team has Dazzle, so you get him low,
So
and
is
then
this
you're
where
like,
you get Axe here and just be like, boom?
And we were talking about
I mean,
how
I
important
honestly
I don't know,
this, the laning stage as
Yeah.
well. Huskar is very good during
10
the lane
I think
stage.
Invoker could be good for OG or for Team Empire.
Empire needs a lane winner. Like right now we're looking at like what, a Gyrocopter or a Huskar mid.
Yeah.
If they can abuse that lane, keep pressure on Huskar, delay his armlet as long as possible, I think that's their
Reserve
best
time.
route to victory. Not sure what that hero for Resolution will be though.
yeah, they banned
TA?
the Quab, actually.
Dragon
great.
Knight's banned,
TA
Viper's
gets
banned,
crushed.
Quab's
Yeah, it's not
banned, Shadowfiend's out of the pool.
I think Invoker's
Does
still
Lina
pretty
beat
good.
Huskar in lane? Does, right?
Yes.
For
Yeah,
sure.
Lina wouldn't be bad here.
I think Lina's actually the best choice.
I like Lina.
Pure damage Laguna Blade before you get Grave off. It's a setup for dealing with Huskar later in the game. I don't think they're... I mean, you look at them and you're like, yes, they have a good physical damage from Sven, and they have the Pure from Bane, but again, when you start, this damage doesn't come like a quick burst. You can prepare for it with Dazzle and get the Grave off. If you have Laguna Blade, the moment Huskar hits half, you're just gone.
They could Wind Ranger as well.
The thing is, Huskar seems to almost guarantee your Shadow Shaman is always going to lay down the ward. The situation where Peter talked about where you jump the
5 seconds
Shaman
remaining.
is going to get significantly harder,
I think
right?
you have to solve
Adjust
the
to
problem.
Huskar?
Yeah, you have to adjust to Huskar, and
Okay.
you're giving Shadow Shaman some space because you can't let that hero get out of control.
Might see Gyro mid this game. Pretty sure he loses to Lina pretty badly though.
So what do we look out for Team Empire? What do they need to do to win this game?
Empire needs to, or Resolution needs to crush mid. He's
Resolution
an
needs to
incredibly
crush
favorable
mid.
matchup no matter what this
Okay.
game. So hopefully he uses it.
If Resolution doesn't crush mid, there might be some issues for Team Empire here in the first game. It is time for our first game. Grand Finals, Team OG versus Team Empire with Odie Pixel and Draskell.
Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, we are here with the grand final of DreamHack DreamLeague Season 4. OG Dota going up against Team Empire. OG, of course, being the big end game bosses that so far no one's been able to defeat at LAN. Can Empire do it, Andy?
I gotta say, can they do it? I think so. In this game, I am favoring OG's draft, though, a little bit. I think Peter was right on when he mentioned shutting down the Huskar this game. It's going to be really, really important. And with that in mind, if you look at OG's Shadow Shaman pick, I think that just the mentality that Empire are going into this with, trying to stop Miracle, it could open up a lot of space for the Shadow Shaman to hit an early 6 and 5 manning into what OG have is terrifying.
And interesting to know as well the fact that Empire they finished off the draft with that Lina pick for Resolution. Is that going to be enough to deal with this Huskar? Is that the answer? Is that the way you need to
It is a
respond to
really
that
good
fifth pick
solution.
Huskar?
I think the main reason that OG picked Huskar isn't because it was particularly good against any hero, but because it's so dominant in lane, and that if OG can win their lanes with Shadow Shaman support and mid game with Slardar having a blink and Gyrocopter, it's an
30
insanely strong
seconds to
death ball.
battle.
So I think again the panel said it perfectly. Just try to do what you can to win the lane, shut down the Huskar as much as possible.
And of course, Silent on his Sven. I mean, we talk about the heroes that Silent's good at. Notable ones, obviously, the Gyro that we've seen him have many victories with. Is this again where you can see Silent getting ahead on Sven and having just as much of an active time across the map?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they have a ton of disable. I mean, between the Rubik,
The
Resolution on the
battle
Lina,
begins.
Sven stun, he gets an early Blink Dagger, you set up for a
Let
kill.
it
A
burn.
Resolution eventually makes his way towards that Aghanims, and you can blow people up before Grave comes out.
All right, and looking at the lane matchups that we're going to get coming out from both of the sides, is this pretty much what you expected to see this Gyrocopter on this bottom lane being supported up by the Shaman, and the fact that Miracle would still head into the mid lane on this Huskar backed up by Fly against Resolution's Lina?
I suppose the offlane for OG is a little bit strange, sending the Shadow Shaman to potentially a harder lane, but in the end, I mean, it's a range farming hero, so I think No-Tail himself will probably be fine in this lane, because Rubik Sven, you kind of need a third hero if you want to go for a kill. So with that in mind, looks like Empire already rotating No Fear towards middle lane. Just want to make sure that this Husker does not get to the start that OG are looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. If this Husker gets out of control, especially with the kind of backup that you've got on OG's lineup, Fly on his signature Dazzle, it's going to be an absolute nightmare for the side of Empire to deal with. So as you said, Bane just trying to help secure the farm for Resolution, shut down the farm for Miracle. And finally, really on this top lane, we haven't yet talked about Funnick again on this Night Stalker. And going to be up against Moon on his signature Slardar. I mean, we've seen at the major how much Moon can make happen on this hero. Is Funnick going to be able to do enough in this lane to slow him down?
Now this 1v1, Slardar and Night Stalker are two of the best like early game strength heroes. So it should be pretty even, maybe even a tiny bit favoring, I guess Moon right now because he has Coiling Blade. I mean, in a melee versus melee matchup, the hero that has Coiling Blade and the same stats wins, I guess. So I think Moon will do okay up here.
It's coming in with a crush. CS-wise, 3 for 0 on the Night Stalker, and actually hold that for because mid lane, Light Strike's going to connect, and Miracle is going to get taken down. First blood here for the side of Empire. I'll try moving on Fly. They haven't got anything to follow through with, but that's a big kill there for the side.
Now we talked about how difficult it is for Husker to actually lane up against Lena. The attack range is crazy. There's not really anything that the Dazzle can do offensively. It's more just like sitting there trying to sustain Miracle.
Bottom lane, they've got the telekinesis here, Silent. Has got the Stormhammer, but holding onto it at the moment. Doesn't feel he'll have the damage to quite take down No-Tail at this point. And at the moment, Silent's having an alright time down here. 7 for 3 in the CS department compared to No-Tail's 5 for 2. So the Shaman and the Gyro proving to not be too much of an issue here for this fan.
Yeah, this is going to be a real big problem for OG. They're losing 2 lanes right now. Off lane, middle lane, both losing. And even top, the Night Stalker is out CSing Moon by a pretty decent margin. Even starting with Quelling, still not able to really keep up. And OG, their mid game is still pretty ridiculous, so it's not like the end of the world if they don't win their lanes, but the Husker pick might fall a little bit flat here if it doesn't get some help.
Yeah, they're going to need to see how they can recover from this early game stuff, but of course this is something that we've seen OG do many times before. Even in games where they don't have the best laning stage, they're very good at choosing the right times to group up and fight. They've got to make pretty much the perfect decisions against a team like Empire, who we know from what we've seen at this LAN are very, very good at choosing the right times to fight as a 5-man.
They're one of the teams who were running like Panda Undying together in just doing that 5-man Dota. This bottom, you can see a little bit of an exchange there between Sven and the Gyrocopter, but I do feel like it's okay. Like if the Husker can get to Armlet, that's the point where Empire don't have really any way of stopping toggles as long as Miracle's on his A game. That's going to be like the crucial item. Peter talked about it during the panel. Then I guess you're looking to the Slardar to get that Blink Dagger. And he's catching up now. He's actually surpassed the Night Stalker in overall farm. And first, Knight's rolling around soon. Interested to see what Funnick's going to do during that time.
Yeah, what levels he managed to find at the moment this lane? Yeah, well, halfway for level 4, he's going to have pretty much level 5 as the night does begin. So as you said, Funnick's rotation could be key really to start getting the ball rolling here for Empire. Starting to get the momentum that they're going to need at this beginning of the game to try and take down OG. Mid lane, Resolution still having a favorable time in terms of CS, 20 for 8 against the 11 for 2. And we're going to see just at the top rune, it's Nightmare being used by No Fear. And Trey coming through, and actually bottom lane, bit more action. They lost the Shaman, No-Tail wasn't able to find anything in return. Top lane, Funnick moving in onto Moon. So second kill on the board here for Empire. And I've got to be honest, Danny, this is a really, really strong start from the Radiant.
Yeah, but at the same time, this is something that's necessary. Like, if they don't have a good start, OG's 5-man, we talked about it, it's insane. You can't really fight into Mass Serpent wards with call down and potentially a blink on a Slardar. Their heroes are really reliant on kind of going for the picks, and they can blow people up really fast and force a potential 4 versus 5.
Look at this rotation here for the Shaman coming straight in with the Shackle. Moon gets him with the crush, the Ether Shock as well. The body block will be there. Funnick tries to salve up, but it's almost certainly going to be salve wasted unless they can try and say they've got a Nightmare. It doesn't matter though, with the right click, surely they'll get it. The Ether Shock finally there, following through from Crit. They'll get themselves a kill on the board, OG, and the rotation is successful. They also bring No-Tail out to this top lane to farm.
Yeah, I like the rotation bringing No-Tail back up here. It was pretty clear that bottom lane, they weren't really contesting enough. And I think at some point you're going to want to get that 6 in middle lane. See a stun here from Resolution.
All right, just healing up. Low hard dance trying to move in, seeing if he could find the telekinesis, and he actually does here, bringing him Fly back here with a Fate Bolt. The right clicks, and they're going to get the kill.
No mana.
Another one there for Empire as they take down the Dazzle. And things getting better and better for them.
Yeah, their movement so far.
Let's start trading heads with Resolution. Hero is incredibly low. Rubik and Lina are low on the mana, so they can't really do anything in terms of control. And top lane, well, Funnick, he's moving in. No-Tail trying to fend him off. The Nightmare is there. They're going to toggle it off here, allowing No-Tail to move forward. He hasn't got the mana, now he has with the Mango.
Oh, he wanted the creep!
Barrage, getting Funnick, and they'll get it.
Oh man, that does not feel good if you're Funnick. I don't know if he was just spamming click and fog there. Moon chasing down No Fear here as well.
Yep, and with the fact that he's got this 6, the Amplifier is down. No-Tail's there also. No Fear will turn around with the Brain Set. Take up along the inevitable. He's trying to deny himself. The Creeper's going to be able to do it. No. It is another kill here for OG on this top lane as things are starting to heat up 6 minutes in.
And when you start seeing heroes rotate around an Empire and they're not really focusing in that middle lane, it allows Miracle some time to recover. He has opted to skip boots. He does this fairly often on not only Husker, but Viper as well. We saw it in the past in some of the other best of threes that they played on their road to the grand finals. And it just allows you to be a little bit more lane dominant. A lot of times, heroes with orbs don't really need boots that much, as long as you can like win your 1v1 exchange. And so far, he's only got 1 death, and he's still maintaining a pretty decent amount of farm.
It's going to be interesting to see if they put any more resources up top to try and slow down this No-Tail Gyro now that OG did move him away from the off lane. They're still just putting Funnick up here on his own on the Night Stalker. Fly is going to make his way up here as well, so Funnick's got to be careful. They do, of course, have this ward in the lane, the Dire, so they know exactly where Funnick's going to be hiding if he starts to back up. No-Tail and Moon claritying up. They're going to have the spells here. They just need someone to lead in. And here we go. No-Tail's got the Salve. Getting himself in a bit more of a fighting shape, and Moondrop's in the Amplify. Funnick, how safe is he going to play it? He's still moving up the lane here, and they're actually going to rotate Moon around here, and Funnick may be going a little bit over-aggressive here, because this should buy time if they want to go. No. Feeling that they haven't got the speed, nighttime and everything, Funnick will be able to play it safe and keep himself out of harm's way here, which is, well, good little bit of play there for Empire, wasting a bit of time there for the OG supports.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a dazzle, really. The bigger thing is Moon sitting there. He really needs to try to focus on getting his blink at some point. But I suppose right now Empire aren't really pressuring any lane resolutions, but primarily farming the jungle, letting that Rubik take a little bit of experience from middle lane as Aloha Dance is only level 4 right now. And in the meantime, if you compare the other support, Shadow Shaman, Crit, he's halfway to level 6. And those Serpent Wards, you walk up to a tower, you drop those. Empire, they have a couple of range heroes to be able to auto-attack them down, but still very scary.
Well, Funnick did catch wind of the courier there, but not feeling that he had the potential to chase it down as it was hasted over the tree line. And yeah, it's just pointed out there by Weapons. Bit of an interesting build here on this Shaman. No points in the Hex and 2 points in the Shackle.
Yeah, it is a bit strange, but I suppose when you're in a situation where you can isolate a hero, leveling the Shackles up, it does scale by almost a full second per level. So the Hex and the Shackle scaling are the same. Typically, you would do this if you wanted to try to conserve mana, but as he does have Arcane Boots already, it's a little bit strange, especially since there are a lot of disables on Empire. I might even say that's a misclick.
Okay, Tread's now picked up on No-Tail. Got the Treads, the Aquila, and the Wand, so he's going to feel pretty safe here on this top lane, especially with the fact that Moon's still hanging around, just clearing up some of the creeps in the camps as he mates the pulls. Void coming through from Funnick, just trying to assert some more dominance in this lane. He is, of course, level 6, and talking about level 6, Aloha Dance on this mid lane on the Rubik, getting very close to touching upon that point himself.
Yeah, Aloha Dance, one of his most comfort picks, the Rubik, so looking for some really big steals this game. If he can get his hands on wards, any of the gyrocopter abilities are nice, even Amp or Dazzle spells. He's got a lot of stuff to choose from, really, so I think looking at him during the mid game to have some pretty good plays, but it's still fairly quiet. Most teams is kind of farming, and in that sense, Empire definitely getting the advantage.
Yeah, they're making just that little bit more of the map. The fact that Resolution's been just going around the jungle camps, cleaning them up with the old 1-2, the Light Strike and the Dragon Slave, allowing them to make the most of the map at this point of the game, Empire. And OG themselves, yet to do too much with their own jungle. I haven't seen any stacking come out, apart from Moon just kind of chilling around here, making these pulls here so he can keep control of the lane. He has found himself level 8, and he's obviously farming in a fairly safe position. In a place that Empire aren't yet going to be looking to rotate to. And here's that big item here for the early portion of the game. Miracle does now have the armor.
Armor completed means that it's now very difficult to take him down, even if you commit Lina ultimate and such. And as they don't have Fiend's Grip currently on Empire, oh, they might have TP bottom. Some action
There's
here.
a lot of action here. Empire looking for something. They'll find the Stormhammer onto Carnage. They'll move forward for more. They've actually stolen the Ether Shock here, and it might be used. They'll let the kill go to Silent there with the God Strength. They'll pick up the Shaman kill. And a very nice rotation there from Empire, getting the supports down here and making sure that they can get Sven a kill under his belt and more gold in the pocket as it is himself and Resolution sitting at the top of the net worth at this point.
Funnick, you are in big trouble, buddy.
And Moon's ready for the dive. Moving in. The TPs, of course, have already been used to go down to the bottom. And Miracle's coming in as well. Jumps in onto Funnick. The burning spears are there, and they'll get themselves the kill. Miracle there, as expected. As soon as he finds a rune such as the haste, he's ready to go into lane and get some action. Talking about action, bottom lane, N0tail could be in trouble. There's a wraparound coming from Empire. N0tail, don't think he gets himself out of this one. They've got the control, the Stellar Releases, the Light Strike, the Storm Hammer. Not a single chance for N0tail to cast a single spell. And Empire there with the full-on 5-man that we do expect to see from them.
Yeah, it looks to be a trade here from both teams. Looks like the carry for an offlaner, and OG are going to be pushing the offlane while Empire are pretty much doing the exact same move here. And with the Mass Serpent Wards, contesting this tower is going to be very difficult. Empire could just choose to sack this and just maybe try to teleport react towards middle lane where Fly is still here with Funnick. But again, I think that Empire just need to continue to adopt the style of play where they don't try to go for the 5 versus 5. If you can pick off the Shadow Shaman before the fight starts, that's fantastic. But they don't really have the greatest heroes for catching him until you start to see like the Yules on the Lina or potentially a Blink on your Sven.
Mid lane, N0tail coming in, just trying to find farm wherever he can. Miracle's going to make use of the bottom lane. Has, of course, got some... well, he's got the lifesteal on top of the armlet, so he's getting scarier and scarier here. Resolution, in terms of the build, as kind of expected, against the Huskar, going straight for the Aghanim Scepter.
Yeah, it's a really solid choice. It's not even just about the Huskar, it's the sheer burst damage that you can throw out against a hero like Dazzle. If you can kill a hero before Grave, that's the best possible start to a fight that Empire could ask for.
Empire, still the plan is now silent in terms of his build. He's got those treads, has got the helm of the Dominator, and okay, lovely crush into the cooldown. N0tail moving forward. There will be a telekinesis here for the side of Empire falling low. They'll lose the Rubik. There's your Laguna. N0tail's gonna get bursted down with a brain sap as well. They'll find the return kill. And Empire are gonna be happy with that if they don't lose anything else, and I don't think they will. They're able to get themselves out. They managed to get the kill on N0tail and only lose the Rubik, and that was off the back of OG themselves making the aggressive movement.
Yeah, I think that Moon backed out just assuming that there would be some kind of counterplay, and in the end, if he had died over N0tail, I think it would have been a better exchange overall, but it's very hard to read that in the moment, so for now, OG going to be pressuring the safe lane of Empire a tiny bit. Well, here's seeing rotation mid from Empire. Funnick potentially looking for someone here.
Got to be careful here. He does have the wards here. In a second, he's got backup. Funnick in potentially a lot of trouble. They've got the control. They've got the body blocks. They'll take down the Night Stalker, and they will punish Empire there. He's in us a little bit deep. Moon getting on the high ground. Maybe thinking of the crush, but the Fiend's Grip straight up onto Moon. They should be able to find this kill here. They've got Silent moving in as well. The Storm Hammer comes in. Sven cleans up the Moon Meander Slaughter. And 30 minutes in, this is panning out to be quite a close game, and if anything, feels like Empire are slightly ahead at this point.
We haven't really seen OG group up yet with their full potential, so we're still waiting for Moon's Blink Dagger. He's 1,600 gold right now, which means he's still quite a bit away. And once he gets it, I think we're going to see either Smoke or OG at least start to try to take some objectives. And with their team having Slardar and Shadow Shaman, they can even sneak a Roshan if they want to. It just really depends on what kind of style they want to go for. Is tier 1 mid and safe laner still up?
They want to go for N0tail here. Funnick moving forward here. Going to quite be able to make the jumpers. N0tail backing himself up. He's got the backup of Fly and the rest of the side is behind him, and Silent cleaning up a very tasty ancient stack. Lots more money here into the bank of Sven, and you can see it on the net worth now, nearly 2k ahead of the highest farmer on OG. And of course his Miracle on his Huskar at this point.
I really like the way the Empire are playing this. They're not forcing the issue too much. Whenever a kill comes to them, they're going to take it. But for now, they're just trying to get Silent everything they can. And if he gets that BKB going, he's got a couple of points into Warcry. Even OG's 5-man potential might not be enough if he continues at this rate.
They really need this blink on the Slardar. And Moon could be in trouble. He's coming down the lane. Resolution with the wraparound. He has got the ult. He's not going to be able to catch out this fish. Backup is coming, and Moon's actually going to hang around and drops the crush. Yeah, smartly makes the move to retreat. And Moon will be able to get himself out of there before No Fear gets in range to do anything on the Bane. Bottom lane, mid lane, the wards will be dropped, and OG looking to get a push on and take themselves another tier 1. See if Empire can do anything against this. Looks like they'll have to let this one go, so OG certainly achieving the objectives here with these wards.
Yeah, that's pretty much the way that you want to play it. You need to drop a ward on a tower, and then you just kill the tower, you back up, or if Empire TP in a large force and you don't want to fight, you can also just choose to back. regardless of what happens, the Shadow Shaman is able to force some kind of reaction on the Empire, which is very, very good if you're OG in this situation.
Now into the jungle, OG, they're going to make their way up here. There's a fair few on Empire. Miracle, who's he going to be able to find the jump on? There's 3 heroes here, they're going to have the control, but OG is there with the backup. Miracle's going to make the jump straight in onto Silent. Silent turns around with the Stormhammer. Resolution's there as well. They'll get the stun out. Can they kill Miracle? The cooldown's there from Notel. They're looking for the turnaround. They shackle onto No Fear. Notel moving in with the Rocket Barrage. Silent getting incredibly low, but he's still fighting here with the lifesteal. Can't keep himself alive. OG find 2. The side of Empire just can't kill Miracle, and the OG aren't done. They've got the blink here onto Moon. Is he going to go the right way? Yeah, he's going to go for Funnick here on the mid lane. Miracle moving forward as well. Funnick's trying to retreat, but the Amplifier's on him. Miracle jumps forward, takes himself another double kill for the Huskar, and Empire find nothing in return.
You could tell there were some communication issues there on Empire, because as soon as they saw that hero, they saw Miracle leading the charge, and they're like, no, we don't want to fight this at all. We know that the rest of the team's behind him. If the Grave comes out and we drop everything on the Husker, we lose that fight. And because Miracle went so aggressive and went for a dunk that potentially could have even gotten him killed, had everyone been in position a little bit sooner, he just ended up baiting Empire into a bad exchange, and OG take full advantage here. They're going into the Roshan pit now, and that was that could have been the fight that breaks the game open for them.
I was going to say that was OG kind of stepping it up a gear, and it was pretty much as we were saying, you know, Moon got the Blink Dagger, and he turned a good fight into a better fight, finding the extra kill on top. They've now got an Aegis on Miracle, who's got the full helm on top of the armlet. Empire, they still do have that fair bit of farm on Sven. A lot of this on Silent to see what he can do. And he is going the SMY, and he's nearly got it finished instead of the BKB.
Now, this is the build that we were seeing at Frankfurt. I believe Artur was the one who was doing this build pretty frequently. And it allows you to be very mobile in the fights, and it doesn't force you to buy Blink Dagger. And I think when Sven has another couple of disables on his team, you don't have to go for the Blink right away. You can just opt to go for items that help you deal damage and farm a little bit faster. And SOY is great when you already have a great cleave ability like that. 66% of your damage gets cleaved, so you just run around, you farm. You can team fight as well. So Empire secure the safe lane tier 1. OG are going to be doing pretty much the same.
And this is, of course, a very big pickup for Empire. Resolution has got the Axe complete now.
The Aghanims, it's still a decent amount of damage, like 650 pure damage. It is a lot. So when Miracle gets to a low threshold of health, you can actually just kill him straight away, toggles or not, and I think that's really big. It just comes down to a couple of things. Is the Grave going to be there in time from Fly? And is this Aegis going to win one extra fight for OG? Because if it does, I feel like even having the Aghanims might not be enough. It just really depends on this next engagement.
It's going to be all about Fly's Graves, and well, as we've seen from OG before, they're going to feel very confident relying on him. On mid lane, Moon's got an Invis here. He has also got Fly in the neighborhood, but I don't know if he wants to jump in on this. There's a TP into the tower, so OG ready to fight. Moon is going to see them on the retreat here. Moon, cancelling the TP from Funnick, the weave onto 3. Stormhammer will get thrown out here, but Empire, very aware that OG are the ones here looking to fight, and Empire will play it safe.
That's the right call. You definitely do not want to fight 5 versus 5, knowing that the Husker has 2 lives. A Resolution just doing the split push game right now. He realizes that this is not the time they want to take the engagement. They're going to spot a Ancient stack up here. They don't have the best team for killing. I guess they have Dazzle. Might be good enough. And a Gyrocopter with a decent amount of farm, yeah.
Yeah, they could take this. Flat cannon up in 10 seconds. They'll start to go for it nonetheless.
Yeah,
I mean, the question is, can Empire do anything to stop this?
It's not worth contesting this, honestly. Because if you lose this fight, and for whatever reason Miracle manages to live through it with Aegis, then you lose a tier 2 mid on top of it, which is just way too much damage Empire can't afford to take right now. So they'll give up the stack. And I guess the story of the game for me so far has really just been Funnick and his lack of impact overall in this game. Like, he's 0-5-0, hasn't been involved in a single kill on his team. He was in the 1v1 against Moon, and he was doing okay for a while, but then just kind of completely fell off, got caught out a bunch. I think this might be the least impactful Night Stalker we've seen all tournament.
Right. Sprinting forward here, seeing if anyone's going to be in a position that you could jump on them. Empire, playing it cool, playing it safe, sticking up to the high ground. You have got Silent, feeling confident enough to get this push going right towards the tier 2. They do know that the majority of OG are on this mid lane push. Miracle will begin to move forward. They might just have to sack this tier 2 unless No Fear can find an opening with the Bane, but there is a Slardar on the high ground. And Moon is going to be ready to jump straight in on anyone that comes out. And this is the thing, Empire, they've just got to let this one go, and OG will take the tier 2.
And they didn't commit anything to that either. Like, they didn't use Mass Serpent Wards. They just get the tower. There's nothing that Empire can do but look on.
Silent, I think. Yeah, the pings are coming out here.
He's
They
a
don't have
ninja,
the
man.
vision. They don't know he's there.
He's got this.
More farm for NoTail, though. He's going to have himself another tasty stack, this time over his side of the map. And looking at the farm, we already see how Miracle's Huskar is caught up with Silent Sven. And with this stack, NoTail will be well on his way to climbing to the top of the board as well.
He even goes for the ultimate orb. We could be seeing a Linken's purchased here on NoTail very early. He's done this in the past. He went for a very stat-heavy build on Gyrocopter before. I think it was like SNY, BKB, Linken's, just to prevent the hero on his team from getting blown up. In this case, I assume he's going to be either keeping it on himself or using it on Miracle to prevent the Laguna Blade. But either way, it's a really solid choice if he decides to go for it, I think. Because the only way he really dies, he uses like a full duration Fiend's Grip, or he gets Laguna'd, you know? Those are the two big ways that they can disable him or kill him.
OG now smoked up in their own jungle. Moving towards top lane. Moon is very much ready to jump. He's got a DD bottled up as well. 4 staff complete on top of the Blink. Moon having a very good game. Blinks in. Looking in the tree line. 4 staff in. Will get the crush onto Aloha Dance. That's one TP cancel. Can he get himself the bash here? No, he can't. But it's just Ruby that they've left alone. Can he get himself out? Though there's another crush. And they will find the kill on Aloha Dance. The rest of the team getting out. But OG finding a kill nonetheless.
I actually think that he didn't see that he crushed Aloha Dance there, because he was in fog, but the AoE on the crush is fairly large. So maybe he just didn't know if he hit him or not. Or maybe he was confident that he canceled the TP and wanted to go for more. Either way. Oh, he's going to find Funnick.
Moon's got a DD. Funnick could be in a lot of trouble here. He'll pop the Void. Will begin to run. Miracle's coming into range as well. Moons is going to have that blink. He's got the 4 staff as well. He should be able to chase. Goes forth. The silence is there, but the distance there for Miracle to jump in. No Fig gets the Fiend's Grip up onto Moon, but Miracle's just moving into fight. They get the stun of the Laguna. They've killed Miracle. This could be huge for Empire if they can look for some more off the back of it. They'll start to chase down Moon. Moon turns around the crush. Silent will be able to duke it out. Resolution can't quite get close enough here to get the touch in. And Moon's actually still hanging around. He actually blinks back in, drops down the Amplify. Silent's forced to run away. But that's a trade that, well, the Empire are going to be very happy with. The fact that they were able to burst down Miracle, who just went a little bit too deep and a little bit too Hammond. Fly wasn't there to save him with a shallow grave.
They saw an opportunity, and they wanted to chase because they knew that the rest of Empire weren't there as soon as the chase started. And unfortunately, the Huskar's a little bit faster than Dazzle, especially when you throw out a dunk like that very aggressively. So it wasn't there for the grave. And it gives Empire a slight benefit in the trade. The big thing here is Resolution is making his way towards his next item. Starting with Aghanims like this, you have very limited potential in being able to pick heroes on your own. It's like normally you see like Blink Yules or, you know, Yules into Aghanims, so you actually have some solo pick, but he hasn't had that opportunity, and as we saw, Moon is able to just sprint away. If he had Yules in that situation, the hero definitely dies, and I understand why he goes Aghanims here, but the next item in progression is going to be really important for him.
There's a BKB now done on Silent, so he's going to feel much more confident running straight into the front of these fights. Just trying to get the free reign to run around and take down some of the weaker heroes on OG before focusing and tunneling in on those big bad cores, the NoTail Gyro. Indeed, it's almost certainly that Linken's that you're talking about. He has picked up the Perseverance with the ultimate orb.
It's a very interesting way of playing the hero. It's not like a really hard one. It's just I'm going to try to protect my other core, who I know is pretty good against the rest of the lineup as long as he doesn't get bursted down. So it's a team play Gyro, I guess, if you want to call it that.
And Silent, he got the triple stack here. More Ancients going the way of this Sven. Big Daddy, he's only got himself a double here. And it is still Silent, sitting at the top of the board once again, thanks to those Ancients. But it's going to be a question really how much this Sven can do, because I guess the Lina will still be fairly impactful, but also fairly squishy. And it feels like Empire are relying a lot on this Sven to carry a game against a Huskar and a Gyro, which surely can't be nice if this one goes late.
Well, the big thing to keep in mind here is if they do manage to kill the Huskar early on in the fight, then NoTail's build is not very good against a Sven and Alina. Like, it's just not. So if he's not there with the Linken's timing, you don't have the items to right-click. I mean, right now he hits for 155 damage as like a position 1 hero. So this lineup is very dependent on this Linken's being able to save, and if it doesn't, we could see Empire potentially taking a fight.
OG smoking up, moving across the jungle. Empire, actually got 4 of them in the base at the moment. Just top lane Silent was pushing out, but he himself is gonna make himself back. This is, of course, one of the things where you go for these full 5-man smokes. You'll play it safe, but maybe not safe enough. Moon jumps in for the crush. They've got the telekinesis to turn around. They'll try and move in, but Notel's got the cooldown onto 4. They have taken that resolution, but he'll buy back straight away. They've lost Moon here on the Slardar. Silent pops to BKB. He's looking to try and clear out the Shaman on the side. Crit will pop down the wards. Aren't going to do anything, though, and they'll get themselves a double kill for Silent. They've taken down 2. Now they're trying to see if they can chase down any more off the side of OG. Doesn't look like it's going to be the case. Miracle. Can they get No Fear close enough? Doesn't look like they can, and OG will be fine for this one. Oh, actually, one Miracle. He wants to go back in. He jumps in onto No Fear. He does have backup. The Shallow Grave is there just in time before the Laguna Blade. Funnick will be the one to drop on the side. Killing spree for No-Tail. They've actually lost the Bane here as well, but Silent's trying to move in for more. They got that big kill onto the Huskar. No-Tail and Fly. Oh, yeah, Resolution gets forced forward here. He can't quite hit the Light Strike, though. Fly will get the heal off. No-Tail with the Rocket Barrage, but the Stormhammer's there from Silent. He's moving in for more. Starting to dash away. Moon comes in with the crush onto Resolution. Amplifies well. Resolution stuck into the tower. Resolution's got to run, but the stolen heal from Aloha does keep Resolution alive. They'll turn around with a Fade Bolt. They'll get the kill onto Moon. And Empire, I think they're doing it here with this fight, Andy.
It's pretty much what I said. If the Husker dies, your Lincoln's Gyro ain't carrying the fight. Like, unless there's so much damage dealt in the time that it takes for the Husker to die that you can carry the fight with a Lincoln's Helm of the Dominator, then you're not going to win. It's way too difficult. And Resolution's buyback, more than worth it. I was kind of worried at first because he buys back with no mobility items. And it's like, okay, well, your team has a really hard time catching in that situation, but OG actually opt to fight high ground, think they have the advantage. They don't win the fight, make Resolution's buyback really, really good. And now he's up to 3,800 gold.
I mean, you look at the heroes, some are really, doing really well for themselves. Aloha dance off the back of that. We saw the 4-star, absolutely huge there, allowing them pretty much to get their final kill as he shoved Lina in. And now he's got 2.3k gold on top of that as well. And Empire now moving into Roshan. I'll actually take the creep for themselves there with Silence Helm. Moving that from OG. OG do have the full lineup and they're teeping into the tier 2. This could be a massive fight.
This is really risky from Empire. This is so risky.
Oh, man. Smoke up from OG, they're ready to go, they found Resolution, they'll get the crush, they'll try and move in, No-Tail, the Lincolns has been popped, they'll get the cooldown out, Silent gets the BKB off, starts to find a Miracle, but the Shallow Grave from Fly is there, Aloha Does is going to be the first to drop, they'll get the wards down, Resolution is trapped in the wards here on the side, they're taken down 2, Miracle's still alive here, Funny's got a missile heading his way, No-Tail moving forward, jump forward from Miracle, they'll clean that one up, Silent desperately trying to fight here with the God Strength, but Kazi got the damage, no, with the crush coming through from Moon, the Shackle from Crit, it's a full team wipe, you said that was a risk, Draskell, and you are absolutely right. OG cleaning up house, and they'll take Roshan as well.
That fight was the absolute worst possible start. We're going to get a chance to watch it again. So shout out to theScore eSports. It starts off by Resolution getting crushed. They're going to throw out a defensive nightmare on him to make sure there's no follow-up. But you mentioned it during the team fight when it happened, is Resolution gets isolated by himself against Crit and pretty much gets solo killed. Miracle's able to just hit away during this time. Cal goes his arm out a few times, has the heal going, and in that time, they've already lost the Bane. Resolution dies at the very end of the fight to his solo support. Like,
I mean, yeah, Crit's wars, they were huge.
Yeah,
just blocking off Resolution.
If your mid dies to a support in the fight, then you're not going to come out on top. There's just no way around it.
I mean, Crit as well. This man, he's got a Lotus Orb on top of the Blink and the Arcane boots.
Yep. They do this all the time, actually. When they're playing around Miracle and they want to really try to protect him, they buy Lincolns and Lotus Orb if there's like a high single target burst that they have to worry about, or some kind of initiation like maybe Bat Rider or something that you can get pulled out. So it's a very team-centric style that OG are running, and it's working for them.
Yeah, let's see if they're confident to go now. Moving towards the mid with the Aegis. And a Halberd on Huskar. There'll be a telekinesis onto Miracle. And then let's see jump in. Moon gets the crush. And Miracle jumps straight up into the base here. Starting to hit away. And Funnick has been hexed up. And Funnick will fall. Miracle now in a killing spree. The Lotus Orb is out to this Huskar. And they are now man down for 40 seconds. They'll put the fortification here, Empire. But do they have an answer to stop this push? OG, have they found that kind of opening that Empire just aren't going to be able to close? As the tier 3 will fall.
I don't think they can defend this. This is double damage on Gyro and Aegis on Miracle.
The telekinesis, Fade Bolt, bounce snap, but Miracle just really doesn't care.
Yep.
He is at that point where it is the Huskar problem pretty much coming into fruition. You can't do a lot against this hero. Once he's got these items, once he's got that backup, He's just going to continue to sit there. Heal himself up with the inner vitality. They will find a light strike. Stormhammer as well, but oh, the reverse Stormhammer onto 2, and now the cooldown moves there with the crush. The wards have been dropped. Crit on a killing spree. Silent is trapped up by Crit's wards. The shackles again. 2 heroes to fall. Silent will buy back here on the Sven, but they've lost the melee racks. OG trying to get themselves away. There'll be a void onto Miracle. I don't know if Empire can really find anything from this Miracle. He just jumps straight back into Resolution. The crush is there. They do have a Stormhammer. Silent with the God Strike doing a lot, but the Shallow Grave keeping him alive. They'll take down Miracle once, but he's got the Aegis back for a second round. Silent, the BKB is going to wear off. Can they kill Miracle again? This could be absolutely huge, but Miracle's Silent fight, and again Crit blinks in. Shackle onto Silent. Miracle now dominating, and this man on the Shadow Shaman, he may even just find the Chrono, will get itself back to base. They talked about this in the draft, how Empire banned out a lot of Crit's heroes. What was he going to pick? But he's showing us here, he knows exactly what he's doing on the Shaman.
Yeah, small hero pool, huh? I don't know about that one anymore after watching this game. I think this guy is just incredibly skilled no matter what he's playing, and he did have a phenomenal performance so far here in game 1. And that Roshan fight just really nail in the coffin for Empire. I thought that they had a pretty good shot.
He blinks in, gets the Hex, he'll move forward. The Shackle again, the control is there onto No Fear. It's another kill for OG. And Funnick, well, he doesn't want to be there. And he wants to get himself back to base. And it's a PKB down now on No Tail, as OG will back up. And they'll probably look to push down another lane. 25 to 15. We'll have a look at the graph. It's got to be steep, and it absolutely is. Look at it fall off now. Suddenly from 0 to about a 14K net worth lead in literally the matter of 5 minutes.
I mean, that's what happens when you team wipe, get Roshan, and then go straight racks, right? Without really losing anything other than an off-lane player. That's a trade that OG are going to want to take every single time if they can. I just feel like a couple of things went wrong this game. Like, the lanes were going okay for Empire for a little while, but the Night Stalker, again, I didn't feel it at all. Like, I don't know where he was supposed to go or how he actually plays this game. Maybe he tries to gank bottom during the first night. Maybe he tries to apply a little bit of pressure mid, stop the Husker from getting farm, but Funnick really just did not have a game. And when you're trying to play vision control, a lot of it's also based around having pick potential, which Empire also don't have. I mean, they didn't have any blink. They still don't have any blink on their team. So instead of having this mid game where you can control the night phase and try to go for smokes and gank, it's like your Funnick Night Stalker has a Vlad's, and yeah, that's okay, but the guy's 2 and 9. It hasn't been great for him so far.
I mean, the point of call for Empire? Well, it's going to be smoking by the looks of it.
This is a last-ditch effort for sure. They realize how far behind they are.
If this goes badly, this could be the game for Empire. But if they take this fight, it could certainly impact that swing a huge amount. But OG is so ready. Look at them. They know something's up. Empire, you don't want to be going up here. Up the night time. They might just do so. A little bit of a game of chicken. Who's going to be the first one to jump? Funny comes up. OG, will they jump back in on this one? The reduced vision, there's going to be hard to spot this out, and Empire will get themselves away. They don't find anything with the smoke, but at the same time, they don't lose anything as well.
I gotta say, Moon had some nerves of steel there. Funnick pretty much walked into melee range of him. He didn't blink or force stab. He's like, no, I'm just standing here. My team's behind me. No worries. Everything is A-okay. And with Miracle now having the Satanic and the Heaven's Halberd on top of it, I think he's also making his way towards an Assault Cuirass. He can't die. Like, this Sven has to be able to hit him for a long time to be able to kill, and he doesn't have MKB, nor will he probably build into it as a Sven. I think the timing for the Sven to be good against Husker in this matchup, and even the Gyro to a certain extent, is kind of come and gone. So Empire are going to need OG to make a mistake at this point.
Top lane OG, they'll look to try and take this final tier 2 away from the side of Empire. Blink Dagger has now been done by a low hard dancer. We'll see if we can find him in the position to get those big steals. Also now a BKB on its way out to Moon on this slider. Find the tower up top, OG. See if they're confident in moving in for more. Roshan, still a few minutes before we're going to see when that one's back up. And as we've kind of known to see the playstyle of OG, they may very well hold off until they get the Aegis scan.
There's no reason to force it, you know. You wait. You know that if you fight around the Roshan pit, you probably have the advantage. You have call down to fight around, blink crush. You have better initiation. Your extended team fight is also better just because of things like Mass Serpent Wards, and they will be more than happy to drop it for a Roshan fight if it secures them the game. It's just OG have pretty much every imaginable lead, and again, it goes back to Empire's lack of mobility. They go for a smoke. They try to go up into high ground of OG, but they're all standing there waiting. They don't have any way of starting that fight. Like, they don't have a blink initiator with a BKB. I thought maybe the Sven, like Silent, would go for something like that here, just to have a free initiation on somebody that's important. Like maybe even the Dazzle, you blink on him, you kill him, but he went for the right-click build, the gotta go fast build, and he hasn't really been able to do much.
I mean, I'm looking at Crit again, and you just gotta say, this man, he's nearly on the same net worth as Resolution's Lina.
Yeah, he's rich. He actually is rich. And this is a... He had Arcane Boots, I think, even especially early, and they gave him a lane at an early stage just to try to get those wards.
Smoke up from Empire, but again, OG are aware. They group up, they know that they're all off the map, and actually they're going to initiate here onto an illusion. This could be disastrous. OG trying to jump in, they get the three-man crush. BKB pop by Moon, and the call out is huge. The walls drop down in the middle of Notel, coming in to clean up. Bane's going to fall. Resolution should go down as well. They'll move forward on Moon. Double kill for Notel on the sidelines. The crush now onto Rubik. Shackle from Crit. They'll take down Aloha Dance. 3 down on the side of Empire, and maybe even more. Jump forward for Miracle. They'll find the Night Stalk. It's a triple kill for Notail. And GG is called. It's all too much for Empire. They may have shown some promise at the start. They were able to hold themselves at the beginning against OG, but OG hit that point. They had that Roche fight, and from there, it was just straight downhill for Empire.
Yeah, the Roshan fight was the real key here for me. I think up until that point, Empire were doing a pretty good job at staying even at least with OG. And sure, their 5-man was always going to be stronger if you get the wards down before your Shadow Shaman dies, but I still think that Empire at one point had enough farm on Silent to really become a threat. It's just that one risk that they took just ended up biting them way too hard. And at that point, it just becomes very difficult to fight in OG.
Absolutely. I think if anything, though, Empire shouldn't be disheartened because they did play very well in the lane.
No, they were.
They did really well. It was just those key mistakes, decisions that OG made better, and they failed smokes at the end. You know, Empire desperately looking for something, but OG's map awareness was absolutely on point, and every time the smokes weren't going to find anything.
Yeah, they had like spider senses that game. Both smokes, they were just like, okay, we're going to sit high ground as 5. It's so difficult with no blinks to jump that. Like at the very end of the game, I think Aloha Dance actually had a blink dagger, but for a while, they just didn't have any way of starting a fight on their own terms outside of, like, I guess Sven running in or the Night Stalker running in. And we talked about Funix game. It wasn't great.
Absolutely not. And we'll see if they're able to step it up in game 2, as we will be back very shortly for more action between OG and Empire. But first of all, a short advert break, and then straight back to the panel.
Welcome back to the finals of the ASUS ROG DreamLeague here live from DreamHack Winter in Chongqing, and we just had our first game. OG was able to take the first game. Now I know if I would ask you guys beforehand who was going to take the first game, you all would have said OG, but Empire, they put up one hell of a fight. Before the game started, I asked you, PPD, what needs to happen for Empire to do good? You said, well, Resolution has to wreck mid. Did he wreck mid enough? Because he did get first blood on Miracle there.
They had a really good kind of opening, but they killed him a couple times. The Resolution went to the jungle and just like farmed forever. I think they could have shut down Huskar a little more.
Okay, so overall, what's your thought on how Empire played that game?
I think they played a good early game. They got about the 3,000 gold lead. They got, was that yesterday as well? Or is it 2 days ago now?
Yeah,
I guess it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The game 2 that they had, yeah.
And then they have, like, the thing Empire needs to improve upon is, first of all, if they can squeeze more of the laning stage than this, they need to do it. But secondly, the big decisions have to be made in a better way. Like, they lost a Roshan fight 5-0 that they kind of, I think, had no business engaging to, at least not in that way. Those are the game-losing moments. Like, if this game is even, they have a fighting chance the whole way through, but they gave too much away.
You could tell when there was a fight in the jungle, actually, in the Radiant jungle, when they were Silent was moving back and forth, so you could tell like there was some communication where someone was saying go and someone was saying go back, and they were kind of unsure what they were doing. Like.
That was a big tipping point in the game.
Yeah.
Like they were handedly winning, and then they like weren't sure where Dazzle was. Like, is he going to get graved? Are we going to be able to burst him down? They didn't have Axe yet on Lina, so they weren't sure if they had the damage to kill Huskar, and they just got caught. And then Sven and I think Bane died as well there.
What are your thoughts, Lumi?
want to echo was something Andy said during the cast, was that Funnick just really fell behind. In that Roshan fight where they got wiped, what is it, 5-0? He had Basilius, Treads,
An urn.
and a headdress or something.
It's
and
a very difficult game to play Huskar, or
Yes.
I mean Night Stalker. I'm sorry.
Because like first nighttime, what is he gonna gank the Huskar in the mid lane? Like that's not a possible gank. So I felt like the Huskar pick really kind of neutered what the Funnick could have done. But at the same time, I felt like I said earlier, I think you need a draft for Resolution and you need a draft for Funnick. These are two of your most explosive players, and unfortunately, one of them got kind of left behind.
Unfortunately, indeed, that was a very explosive game that we had a lot of back and forth, or rather, back on one side and then forth on the other half of the game. We're going to take a look at the replay that is selected.
I mean, I think this fight really showcased the difference of the two offlaners in terms of what they could have done. Slaughter just went in, and then even if he just died right here, he already done enough in terms of isolating the Lina. If you guys just focus on the Night Stalker and see what he was doing in the fight, he was literally just running back and forth, trying to throw out some voids, and he just kind of got felled off.
If you look at the bottom right, actually, Resolution tried to go for the stun instead of just Laguna blading.
And he could have killed him off Laguna.
Yes.
He wanted to save the Laguna for the Huskar.
To be fair, if the stun would have hit, the Rasta would have died. He wouldn't have had used his Laguna. He wanted to save it for Huskar, which is understandable. Just minor misplay. I don't think it would have made a difference. Even if he killed the Rasta without dying there, I don't think he changes it. The rest of the team just died.
So looking forward to the second game. Empire, they did have a decent early game. How can they make that decent early game even better? And how can they make sure that they actually win the mid game after that as well, which is where they kind of started to fall short.
They forced OG onto some different heroes, which was, I think, relatively good for them, even though we said, like, Crit, he played an amazing Rasta. He did really well. But, I mean, that's the closest game we've seen OG have.
Yeah.
I think that Empire played surprisingly well, and I think if they can mimic that and make a few less mistakes, they could be in a good spot.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I don't think they could have got that much more out of the laning stage. I feel like they won the bottom lane. They forced the rotation to the safe lane for Gyrocopter and Shadow Shaman, which, I mean, they might have wanted to do anyway, but they did it because they were pressured.
Yeah.
They got the first blood in the mid lane. Everything actually looked pretty good for them. I don't think that's where they can improve the most. You can always improve in some sort of aspect. Like in every aspect of the game, you can get a little better, but the early game in this game was clearly Empire's strongest point. So.
You guys touch on the in-game. I think out-of-game mentality also very important. Showing them earlier on camera, they were not laughing, they weren't smiling. Also, Resolution made a tweet on Twitter saying, well, he didn't really say this, but he was not very happy with the fights around Roshan Pit. So just hopefully they don't go on tilt, mentally everywhere at the right place. Going to game 2.
And OG, I mean, they had not a really great early game. Obviously, it was Empire's early game, as you mentioned. But looking from OG's perspective, they won. But how can they improve on their early game, Shane?
How can OG improve on their early game?
Yeah.
I'm not even sure, to be honest. I think they actually played pretty well. Like, the mid lane matchup was very favored for Team Empire, and they lost it. But the early game fights, they took them pretty well. They always used the Huskar really well and positioned the Dazzle in a good position. So
I don't think that was a draft OG really liked, to be honest. I think they're going to try and draft a better hero for Miracle there. I don't think that Huskar should have been able to farm mid at all. I think they actually were playing really passive on the mid lane. I think Bane and Lina both could have just gone to the high ground and just fought with Dazzle. The thing about Huskar is, if you're able to kill him, even if you die, it's worth it. Because the farther you get into the game, if that Huskar is still low on net worth, he is just totally useless. And once you get BKBs, he does nothing.
We saw Crit on the Shadow Shaman, a hero that he hasn't played a lot of, and before the game started, we mentioned that his hero pool seemed, emphasis on seemed, fairly small based on previous results and previous heroes he's actually played. Now, the Shadow Shaman actually worked out really well. Are we going to see him again? Is that a hero that we could see?
If they need to go to it, yeah. I mean, they can. I don't think so. I think they'd rather have the Tusk or the Rubik or the Wisp or the Wyvern, possibly.
The main difference is for me in that game where whenever OG won a fight, they take like 2 or 3 towers. And on the flip side, Empire wouldn't actually take any. Like, they just didn't really push the objectives at all to try and get the net worth to the supports up.
I think that was also a lineup thing where if Laguna Blade, for example, they need everything to be ready to be able to fight that Huskar after the early laning stage. They are not going to kill him without the DX Laguna Blade or without the God Strength. They just don't have the damage to lane to the Huskar. And even when they do, it's still difficult. But I don't fault Empire for giving away the towers they did. I thought every single time they let a tower go, they couldn't have defended it anyway.
I was really surprised we didn't see AA with the early Dazzle in the game.
Yeah.
They played it
10
earlier, they did
seconds
just fine.
remaining.
I think it's a really good pick for them.
They were very focused on stealing the Rubik.
5
And then after they did that,
seconds
they already had Rubik and Bane.
AA got totally ignored in the draft, and we are indeed back in the draft. Game number 2, OG Dire side. OG first pick, and Empire will play from the Radiant side here.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
IO Shadowfiend. Alright, here we go.
Shadowfiend.
Shadowfiend it is.
Team
Boy.
Empire.
Empire better have a plan for this. They need to take that Dazzle. I'm going to say this every single game you give Shadowfiend to OG, just take the Dazzle or ban it.
I think
Don't let them have that combo.
like Ember Darkseer or something like that could work as well, and just get a ward in the jungle and contest the early pulls.
Yeah, definitely contest the early stacks.
Yeah.
That's,
I'm down with both Ember and Darkseer, but I don't think they need to pick Ember yet. That would take Dazzle Darkseer, I think, is an okay opener for Empire here. Push out the lane top constantly so you get access to the jungle.
maybe denying Tusk.
That's
okay
true.
idea as
He's
well.
also, yeah, they're going to take that.
Tusk Dazzle, pretty good.
Sounds alright.
So the consensus is shut down Miracle wherever you can, however you can. Pick a strong laner in the form of Viper. You deny their jungle farm, and you just make the other 4 members of OG beating you. Because right now, Miracle is first and foremost the guy that never dies in the front.
Dazzle SF.
Undying, SF.
okay.
Fly Undying.
Dire
You said in the
team
last draft how much you like Undying when they pick a Tusk. So
Yeah, it's like you see a snowball coming in, or you see, you know, Tusk is a very aggressive hero. You just kind of throw down a tomb, and then, you know, plenty of zombies for everyone.
I'm also considering here what if OG are thinking, okay, they have the Viper. They obviously pick this Viper to try to counter the Shadowfiend mid. If you want to do that, you put Viper +1 there, and then in the mid lane, it's a lot easier to hit double decays than it is in the safe lane, because like the attack angles for the enemy team are very limited. So if he can get 1 or 2 double decays in the mid lane, that should secure 3 or 4 CS for Shadowfiend, and then he can probably be okay after that. I don't know if it's better than Dazzle though. This is actually the most surprising thing out of this draft so far, is that they grabbed Undying over Dazzle.
It does seem odd. They should watch out for, I don't know if Funnick plays Broodmother, but Broodmother is very good against both Shadowfiend and
Team
Undying,
Empire's turn
especially
to battle.
Undying. Yeah,
The tombstone gets
two guys instantly.
yeah.
Spiderlings.
What do they do? They do
Yeah, they do the hero damage.
they do a hero damage?
Yeah, it's just like PL illusions,
Yeah.
everything.
Actually, I thought they counted like creeps
10 seconds
on the
remaining.
tomb. Okay, that's sick.
Dire team battle.
Also, Undying can't do anything if Brood gets on top of him.
Well, there goes that PL. Trying to remove some of No-Tail's heroes.
Funnick does play Brood, but I don't know if he's
does?
going to pick it. I've seen his Brood before. I seem to
10
remember at least.
seconds remaining.
It's looking very good.
5 seconds remaining.
If, let's say there were no more bans now and we just went into a pick, what would you get for OG against these 2 first cores for crit? What's better,
crits, huh?
Wyvern?
Wyvern's super good.
Wyvern's good against Viper and Tusk.
It's okay versus Viper.
It's good against Viper.
Really good against Tusk, and it's, you know, it's good for what Shadowfiend and Undying want to do. Just go push towers. You can keep your creep on the wave if you cold embrace your creep, so it doesn't take any tower damage.
That's got to be something Empire are considering right now. Targeting the supports here and then maybe stealing the Wyvern away. What would that put? Okay, they're actually going to ban the Dark.
if Dazzle's still in though, surely if you get a Dazzle and Undying with Shadowfiend, you can just push like crazy early. Nearly
Yeah, with
double.
AA banned, it's actually an option.
They
Also
should
would've
take the
been really-
Dazzle and look for the Broodmother as the 4th pick.
Yeah, I like that
I
a
think
lot.
that'd be super good. But will they do it?
10 seconds remaining.
Minus something else?
Ban Wyvern, pick Dazzle. Wyvern's also good against Brood.
5 seconds remaining.
It would be one of the 2 regardless, right?
I think so.
Even if they would
Reserve
ban out the
time.
Dazzle, they would have to pick up the Wyvern, because otherwise OG will probably take it instead.
This is good if they get
Dire
Brood.
team
Do I got this? Do I have this call?
Good call, Peter.
What if?
I mean, when you make the call, it's like
It was a good call.
it's like standard, you know. It's more like when you don't make the call, everybody's like, what's going on?
True.
You had a call yesterday that was sick on the last pick
It's a
here.
centaur pick.
Yeah, the Centaur. See, that's a sick call.
It's such a good feeling when you like call the pick. It's like my favorite part of doing this.
Predict the
10
draft.
seconds remaining.
What do you reckon for next one then?
Which, for the record, going away from the draft,
5
having
seconds
PPD here
remaining.
makes it much easier for us to have good calls too.
Reserve time.
Because when we say something dumb, you're like, no, that's not a possibility. So we gotta throw it out, and then it limits our options.
True.
Let's see, they can do Rubik maybe? I mean, that's a crit hero.
Boom. Okay, let's
That
go
was
next.
obvious. That was
Good
obvious.
call, Peter.
That was obvious.
We're gonna get you.
That was easier.
Are you still sticking with your brood?
All right, let's just keep going.
I think Brood's the best pick. I don't know if they're gonna pick it.
I
which
agree with Brood being amazing.
Which other hero would you get if it's not brood? You can have a plan B.
They have been running Tusk on Funnick though, right?
Both Funnick and
Aloha Dance plays it.
Aloha Dance. Like,
Are we even sure that this is a support Tusk? I guess the possibility is
There could be a support Tusk. Definitely a
5
possibility.
seconds remaining.
I'm thinking about whether or not Silent's gonna play Viper or somebody else will. Or if Resolution's gonna play it.
Resolution
'Cause they
played
could
it
do
yesterday
They
twice.
could do a different mid laner
Yeah.
and have Viper in the safe lane.
It's just the way they picked it. It just looked like they wanted to counter the SF with the
definitely,
order
but
they did. But they can change their
There's
plans.
plenty of heroes
to
that are
throw
good
them
against SF though.
if Silent doesn't play Gyrocopter, which heroes does he play?
Oh, they could do
off. Juggernaut.
Lycan.
They could do what?
They could do
Lycan,
their
yeah.
Crosswax Invoker and then have Brood as well. And then Viper Brood is enough carry. And have Crosswax Invoker running around.
Well, they're taking their time. See if they come to the same conclusion of the Brood Mother.
They might want to try and wait on Brood until until a 5th pick, but OG may or may not ban it. It's nice that they have the Tusk though, because Tusk can be an offlaner or a support, so.
Earthshaker's still in the pool, by the way. Would he fit in either of the teams?
Earthshaker from Moon is a possibility.
We saw Earthshaker Funnick earlier as well.
Like I said before, very
Not
good
sure if
against
you want
Tusk.
to pick it into the Rubik.
Not yet, but well, we saw people picking it yesterday into.
Oh, it
the
wasn't
Rubik.
great. It wasn't
It
great.
wasn't great, but it happened.
What offlaners is there still left? Beastmaster?
Clockwork, Beast, Brood.
Ad Rider, okay.
All right, called it.
Dire
No
team
Brood, guys.
pick.
Did you?
This is Funnick's hero, correct?
The one hero of the tournament that's been played a lot that we didn't mention as a possible pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Bad is pretty good here though.
That's
I like
all right.
it.
Into Rubik?
I mean, yeah, it's one hero, but it's awesome against Shadow Fiend.
Yeah.
Like Bat Rider Juggernaut, maybe? It's pretty good against SF.
10 seconds
It's also good against the
remaining.
Tombstone in the sense that you could drag the hero away, get the quick kill, and the Tombstone suddenly becomes out of position if you throw in a
Yeah.
very forward spot.
Juggernaut's good for OG as well. Right? Pretty decent.
Reserve time.
So we need no till here, no?
Yeah.
We do.
Is it Meepo time?
There's a Meepo still.
Meepo's actually really good.
No Till and Moon, still no hero. So if you would consider the Meepo, would you not go for Moon's hero first?
They're not picking Meepo until last. That's
I,
I'm almost 100% sure they don't.
Team Empire have picked Meepo before. So I'm saying, and they do have the Dazzle as well on top of
They
it.
have once. They are 1-0 with a
Wasn't
hero.
that with Dendy a stand-in and Dendy played it?
No, it was Resolution.
Yep.
Resolution Meepo, really?
Yes, he did.
Okay, there's our Moon Meander hero, Night Stalker.
Team Empire's turn to
It has the
battle.
potential to be a Moon Meander on dying. I've seen him play it a couple times, but I think offlane, the core Night Stalker is more likely.
Nice Stalker on dying off lane.
Yeah, it's an okay lane. Pretty good.
I think Undyne needs to help mid more, though.
Yeah, we'll see.
10
The
seconds
Rubik could camp
remaining.
mid as well.
Does Meepo still fit in this lineup?
5 seconds
For OG.
remaining.
It can. It's.
I think it's pretty good.
They don't have a lot of catch though. That's the one thing they're lacking. But generally, OG just likes to kind of death ball behind their Shadow Fiend. In most games, they have Dazzle though. This game, they don't have that kind of sustained heal. They may look to just try and like dive towers with Undying and Night Stalker. So
Safe
maybe
lane Omni Knight.
We'll see an ultra aggressive hero
There
from
we go.
for no tail here.
Oh, they do take out the Meepo.
10
Yeah,
seconds
smart pick.
remaining.
I'm not sure what no tail hero we have left right now. I know he plays Juggernaut. I know he
5
plays
seconds
Beastmaster.
remaining.
Juggernaut would give some sustain for SF.
Alchemist?
Reserve time.
You fight with a blink, you
They
get
could
an
do
early
some-
medallion.
They could do some like Slark or even Luna.
Does
or
Lycan
Night
work
Vision.
for Empire?
Empire's turn
You have the
to
heal
pick.
for the Wolves. You have the push off to get a Bat Rider pick.
Lycan. Yeah, Lycan's fine. Very good against Undying, but the laning phase is rough.
Well, you're laning just against a Night Stalker, right?
That's
If you
true.
put
I
him
mean,
safe lane.
with Dazzle to help
Yeah.
you, should be
You
probably
get away
fine.
with it.
Lycan is a questionable hero at the moment, I think, though. Not awesome.
I think Dazzle is going to be spending more time
10
mid than in safe
seconds
lane this game,
remaining.
so I think they want someone who's more self-sustainable than...
Well, they'd like their
5
Lunas in the
seconds
past.
remaining.
How would it be here?
She loses one-on-one to Night Stalker, right? She's going to need help.
Reserve time.
You can just go super aggressive with a
not a
Mango
fan
or
of
two and
Luna.
an Orb of Venom.
I bet crit steals the Lunar
Eclipse.
flips like every time.
What else does Silent play? Let's see.
I like Jugger. I think it's multi-purpose. It's
10 seconds.
fairly good against the
remaining.
Tombstone. You can hit it while you're spinning. All right,
Take over
never mind.
Luna.
They actually go for it.
Dire
Not so
team
sure. I like the Jugger also because it would take it away from OG. It's one of the remaining no-tail heroes we've seen quite a bit.
Let's see if that's the one we're gonna.
I have no idea what they're gonna.
I think the Juggernaut
That's
works.
gonna play here.
Get
See,
the
I don't-
lift into spin for lane and stuff.
Yeah, Juggernaut's. I mean, it's fine, but it's not like a.
I think Auk gives them another catch hero, which they lack right now. If you go for the blink
10
stun.
seconds.
What about Safe Lane
remaining.
Slardar?
Safe
Oh, there.
Slardar.
Yeah, I like that idea too.
Yeah, that seems pretty
5
good. to
seconds
me.
remaining.
I can get down with that.
Reserve time. 10
Well, let's find out
seconds
what is
remaining.
important for Empire's lineup, regardless of the last pick, which is going to be a Juggernaut.
Well, sometimes it can be difficult to split push against Night Stalker, but right now this game that's their only catch. So until Rubik has some items, so you should be able to split up the map, farm. We're gonna need once again we're gonna need to wait for Batrider to get his blink, probably a Force Staff, and they just need to be careful about how they fight into Undying. Shadow Fiend is no doubt gonna have that early mechanism, and they're gonna be very strong when they hit that timing. Maybe dodging fights until they're ready is the way to go.
How would you judge them being ready? With a Blink Dagger?
Viper Mech, Batrider Blink, Luna, couple items, not sure.
Well, keep your eyes open, guys. It is game 2, Team Empire versus Team OG with Odie Pixel and Draskell.
Indeed, I'm Odie Pixel. This is Draskell. OG Dota versus Team Empire. Game 2 has begun. And Andy, we're seeing it come out again. Silent back on his Luna. He's done it a few times already this land. They're also running that Batrider. But OG, they've got Miracle Shadow Fiend. And Miracle Shadow Fiend, without a doubt, has got to be one of the best Shadow Fiends in the world right now.
Yeah, I mean, 8,000 matchmaking points, right? That's what you got to come back to. And this guy has played phenomenally throughout the entire tournament, so I would expect nothing less here in Game 2 in this Best 5 series against Empire.
Oh, I do like this. I do like this. Smoke up straight away from Empire. They could find some action here. They're going to be able to ward themselves in. Shards are going to be thrown out. Telekinesis onto Funnick. The fight will begin. They'll try and move on to Crit. Crit gets himself up with the Blade Fury there from No-Tail. Hitting onto 2. The first blood is going to go the way of Empire. They'll take down 1, but now the turnaround. They found 1. They found 2. It's a double kill for No-Tail. They might even get more for him. There's going to be more. They'll get a 3rd kill here for the side of OG. And now Silent could be in trouble as well. They're going to have a low. I was trying to do the best, but the Void comes out. Fly moving forward as well. He's got another Decay. It will be dropped. Silent will just be able to get himself out here. No fear. Analo Dance hitting away at Fly.
Decay
But look
stacks.
how many stacks he's got. He's got 54 points of strength. Fly will just walk it off. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start the game 3 for 1. OG taking the biscuit there. And
Yeah.
Empire, well, not the smoke that they were hoping for. They did get first blood, but they gave so much to Jug.
Yeah, if you watch this replay, we're going to be showing here in a second. Shout out to theScore eSports. The shards here, they commit so hard onto the Rubik. Juggernaut just comes in. He's spinning on 2 heroes simultaneously. Raises come through for Miracle. The damage coming out from OG in this fight is just way, way too high. And that's also including Fly's Decay, which at the end of that fight, they had almost 1,200 HP. So it was not the greatest engagement from Empire.
OG were absolutely ready for that. I mean, they were lucky that they got Silent out here as well when Fly was chasing them down. Silent only just escaping. Well, that's certainly a way that OG are going to be happy with starting this game. And now the lanes will settle down. No-Tail once again farming on this off lane with the Rubik backing him up, trying to contest Silent's farm. And Silent, of course, has got the backup of the Dazzle. He's going to be making the pulls. So they're going to send the Undying down here as well. So content with leaving Moon on his own against this Funnick Batrider, which, well, on lane, in fact, they might actually find something here. Silent, he's in a Blade Fury. No-Tail's chasing it down the hill. I don't know if it's going to be enough, and it's not. Another kill for No-Tail on a killing spree at 1 minute into the game, Draskell.
I think, honestly, if that level 1 fight doesn't happen and No-Tail doesn't start the game with boots, that kill also is not possible, because Luna is one of the fastest heroes in the game outside of Enchantress at level 1. And he has Stout and boots, so I'm assuming that he came to the lane with Stout Shield, probably trying to farm, and that pretty much means that Silent dies in extra time. So Empire really off to a shaky start here. they really need mid to do well because they're committing a lot to this off lane right now from OG. And if they can have the Viper dominate Miracle a little bit, there aren't going to be any stacks for him either. That could be where Empire are looking right now.
Tuss. He's going to walk into Fly here. Fly. Just give him the quick decay. And yeah, I think, well, as you said, Empire, yeah, they're going to send more heroes down it. They're going to have No Fair hanging around on the Tusk as well, still just sitting on the level 1. In mid lane Resolution, he is having a good time against Miracle. 10 for 4 against 5 for 1. So the fact that OG are kind of putting their supports towards the bottom lane is having this, impact on the mid lane where Miracle is struggling a little bit.
Yeah, but this needs to be the case for Empire now. Since the safe lane had already kind of struggled due to the kills that happened in the first fight, Funnick and Resolution both need to have good laning phases. If that happens, they get an early blink. I would very much see Empire turning this game around in their favor. But if for whatever reason something goes wrong or the Night Stalker has good rotations during the first night and they manage to get some of the solo laners down from Empire, OG I could see running over this game.
On this top lane, Moon just dropping the Void, moving on to Funnick. Funnick a little low on mana. Moon has to be a bit careful. The Napalm stacks were beginning to build up. Mid lane, got Fly. He has got an inventory. Now he's going to drop the Tombstone and start moving with the raises. The right clicks. Fly, he's out of mana. Isn't going to be quite enough to bring down Resolution. But a nice attempt nonetheless from OG. Bottom lane, No-Tail and Carnage moving forward. They've got the Telekinesis. Silent drops a Lucid Beam. No-Tail's got the Blade Fury. They will have the Tusk Snowball to buy themselves some time, but No-Tail was hoping that they could maybe drag them back, but they did snowball across the creep wave. And yeah, indeed, as you said, No Fear using the skill to the best of his ability.
Yeah, this should pretty much keep them safe. And in terms of overall CS, Empire actually edging out OG in both of the solo lanes. We talked about the importance of that. It's definitely a good sign for them. You're going to want that early mech on the Viper of Resolution.
Oh, again, Telekinesis on Dofa. They don't have the mana here for the Blade Fury. One charge will be popped. Lucid Beam holding No-Tail back. They've got the Snowball. It's going to be across. No-Tail dodges the stun. A lower dance is there as well with a heal, so No-Tail can't afford to go any deeper, and they won't find themselves the kill this time.
At the very least, they're not dying anymore. Empire have that going for them. The early game has not gone too amazing, but this lane from OG, they're still getting the Juggernaut a lot of farm. Starting to zone Silent a bit more here, top lane.
Top lane, Funnick. Could be in trouble. There's a Void again in 4 seconds. Moon, he may commit to this one. Funnick. Okay. Moon's going to play it. Careful, not feeling that he could go deep enough to get that second Void through. And
it's
Funnick
good
will
enough.
survive.
Because if you look at what Funnick has right now, he has no regen, so best case scenario for him, he actually walks all the way back to base, and that means that Moon gets like 2 or 3 free creep waves. So right now he's already level 5, halfway to level 6. He's had a pretty solid laning phase so far, considering he was up against that Batrider, but Funnick, drastic change up from game 1. He is leading the board in CS.
And in terms of CS, it may be looking good for the top lane, may be looking good for the mid, but Silence Luna is falling way behind.
It is a bit of concern for Empire, but at the same time, I think with the Viper and the Bat both doing well, then Funnick can maybe get his blink timing a little bit sooner. He could look to try to take fights that way. That can get Silent back into the game, but every time you pick Luna, you kind of have to assume the enemy is going to try to pressure you because this hero is not good in aggressive
With the
lanes.
phase, moving forward, No-Tail. The team's actually going to get cancelled here, so Lohar Dance is on his own, hiding in the tree line. They're not aware of it at the moment.
Is under attack.
Lohar Dance has just got to hope that they don't come looking for him, as OG really asserting the dominance on this lane. They'll clear out the creep wave, and they'll look to continue to push, try and take this tier 1. Silent just being held back away from any kind of farm that he can hope to get his hands on. And OG will look to take a tier 1 here 5 minutes into the game.
Yeah, this lane went from kind of bad to really bad real quick, and it's pretty much just because of the Undying. They can't fight into the Tombstone. They just don't have the heroes for it.
And the Tombstone's being dropped. Silent will turn and give it a touch. The shard's coming out, but it's not going to block off No-Tail. No-Tail still has the Blade Fury. Phase boost up in a second, but the Telekinesis, the Snowball, again, doing a lot of work here. They're getting a huge amount of damage with the Blade Fury, but it is a deep Snowball. Shallow Grave onto himself. They'll try and turn off the kill on Fly. Fly's going to be able to walk it off. No-Tail moving in onto No Fear will be able to get the kill. Dominating streak now. They do take down Dazzle as well. So OG getting 2 more kills down on this bottom lane, and Empire just unable to find anything in return.
It's really rough right now for Empire. Funnick's Blink Dagger timing is going to be crucial here. He is going to get potentially Tower Dove here, top lane.
And Moon's going for it this time. Funnick will get taken down. Moon with a solo kill, and in fact, well, he might. No, okay, he's not going to think about going for more, or is he? I think he's contemplating it. He's going to go back in. No, he's going to go back out. Dancing around there with the Dazzle. But things going from good to better here for OG. 7-1 at the moment. It is still all about the Resolution's Viper. You know, his farm has been decent. He's still a little bit of a way off getting that mech out. Oh, Miracle. We've talked about the Miracle runes before. He hasn't got any points to the record, but he might not need it. One raise. Yeah, that's... Miracle Invis Rune doing the job again here at the 6-minute mark.
This is a... Well, we've seen a lot of laning phases so far in this tournament not go so great. And for Empire, I think this might be one of the hardest laning phases that I've seen anyone have so far in the LAN finals here at the ASUS ROG DreamLeague. And they're going to try to come back here a bit.
Moon is there to back him up. The tombstone has been dropped. Fly getting off the decay. And the Sorap, he's healing himself up here. Resolution trying to commit, trying to find the kill. Will find it, so they'll bring down Fly. But now Notel from the back, coming in with the Blade Fury. He'll find himself the kill onto the Dazzle. And now with the telekinesis holding Resolution in place, it's a double kill for Notel. 3 to fall. As again, OG just absolutely destroying Empire in this early game in game 2. 7 minutes, 11 for 2 on the board.
The advantage right now at 7 minutes is 4,000 gold and 3,000 experience. That is a gigantic lead in top lane.
Yeah. Notel's here, and he has got that Omni Slash. If Moon can control Funnick to allow Notel to close the gap, and I think he can, Notel, he's going to have to face boots up in a second. And he should be able to, he's not even in, he's the ult. Walks in, takes the kill secure there for Notel. 7 kills, 2 assists. This man has had pretty much the best start on a Juggernaut that I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, the aggressive lane from OG just completely shut down Empire's safe lane. And the other problem too is, I think maybe No Fear put a little bit too much emphasis on bottom. I think that lane is kind of lost just based on hero matchup. Maybe it would have been better for him to rotate mid and try to get some ganks going on the Shadow team. Because you saw Fly, he even rotated as an Undying and managed to help get a kill on Resolution. So that being said, I think the Tusk, it's not really been able to do a whole lot, and maybe it would have been better for him to just rotate and try to help out Funnick or help out Resolution in some way. Make OG's lane split up, because originally OG only had 2 heroes down there. It was just the Rubik and the Juggernaut. And then they realized, okay, well, we can just go and do our own thing with the tri lane, and there's not really any answer from Empire. If they have the 2 supports down here, they can't engage into us.
Lane Empire smokes out, they're going to jump in onto Moon. Moon will get the ultimate off, but he's been lassoed up by Funnick, bringing him back into the 4-man Moon. Will they be able to keep him alive? Fly's coming through, but he's not going to be able to do anything to save this man. They'll get the kill on the Nice, talking out Empire, trying to move forward for more. Tombstone will be dropped, they're trying to find Fly, heals himself with the Soul Rip. Can they kill him? Yes, they can. Double kill here for Resolution on the Viper. They're finding the trade here, Empire, and they will get No Fear out just in time. And this time, Empire find 2 kills, and they don't lose anything in return, so some real nice play from them there in the mid lane.
That was very, very needed. It puts Resolution a lot closer to the mech. It's only 9 minutes in. Seems like a much longer game, but that's just because of how much action we've been seeing. And mostly OG going to be on the better end of it so far. Empire is starting to fight back a little bit. Funnick right now, he's a little under halfway to his Blink Dagger. This is still the item we're going to be looking to really turn the game in their favor. We mentioned how good it was against Shadow Fiend on the panel, being able to pull him out of position and potentially just get that really easy kill to kick things off.
Resolution starting to move in on to Miracle. No Fear won't quite be able to sharp block him here. Miracle will be able to walk it off, and it's going to be a bit of a hard target to jump on now that he's got that Treads, Aquila, and Buckler done. Pretty damn tanky at this point of the game. 1k health and 14 armor on the Shadow King.
Yeah, this hero is extremely beefy, and he's actually got very high CS considering he didn't have anyone stacking for him. That's the one downside of what OG actually decided to do, is you don't get the jungle stacks, and I think he was pretty much doing it for himself for the early part of the game.
Funnick moving in with the Firefly here onto Moon. Moon is going to fight back here. He's got a Void again in a second, and Funnick, oh boy, this man's in a lot of trouble, and Funnick, he's overstepped the mark. Moon reaches over the cliff and gets himself the kill, and
that's
Funnick
the second
just
solo kill.
Underestimating the power of the Night Stalker.
2 times he's been solo killed.
With the Eclipse, moving in onto Fly. It's not going to be enough. Miracle with the Requiem for the high ground will slow down the 3 of them. So they won't be able to chase down for more. And, well, OG are here. There's going to be the steal.
He stole
the Eclipse. Crit. There will be a snowball, and he gets the Eclipse off in time, but it does a fair bit of damage. It's not enough. Empire will find the kill. As flashy as the steal was, it doesn't matter. Empire do take down the Rubik. Now they are in a position to push if they wish to do so on this top lane.
And just showcasing the first time Empire's 5-man actually groups up together. A very nice deal from Crit. Unfortunately, everyone being in the area makes Eclipse a heck of a lot weaker, especially when you don't have any backup from your team. And this is a really good thing for Empire. I mean, they're potentially going to get this tier 1. Looks like OG are already moving across the map. They want to go for a farm in the jungle, maybe even get the rune secured here for Miracle. I guess that's a Miracle / S4 rune, right? The haste? Is that what we're calling it now? He's had some pretty good rune luck so far.
He has. I mean, every game with Miracle, he's always doing something with the runes. I think that's what it is that's different to some of the other players. The fact that every time Miracle has a rune, he's always making something happen. And now he'll look to go into the Roshan pit. He's got No Tail there, as well as his buddy Flight. And they should be able to do this. Empire still with a 4-man up on the top lane. I don't think they're going to be able to do anything to contest this, and it's going to be very hard to do so if they wish to try, because OG have the full 5-man around the pit, and Roshan now at less than half health.
It's a really nice move from OG. They just realized, having the healing ward early, this lineup is very good at killing Roshan, and they don't have to really commit a lot. Like, sure, they're here in force, but just the Shadow Fade and the Jug would have been enough. Would have taken a tiny bit longer. Miracle picks up the Aegis. Empire now deciding that it's probably a good idea to get the heck out of dodge. You don't really want to fight right now. You do have Eclipse up in about 30 seconds, but again, it's a very risky engagement for them, and I don't think they're going to get anything big, even if they do take this.
Let's see if OG want to do anything about it, and they do. They totally do. Smoked up and making a beeline for the Dire jungle, and Empire, are they going to get themselves out of this one?
It's a good pack. Like, you do not want to fight. It's just not worth the risk. We saw last game Empire take one really big risk when they walked into the Roshan pit and they wanted to try to get that Aegis away from OG, and how badly it hurt them.
Oh, Funnick. He's only 50 gold away from that Blink Dagger. Is he going to be able to buy it before he dies? No, oh, yes, he is. He got it. He did get it. OG get the kill, but Funnick does manage to get that Blink, and that's pretty big there for Empire.
The Blink Dagger timing, it's still not actually that bad. I mean, 13 minutes and a 1v1. He actually had 4 deaths up until that point, and he still gets it around 13, so that's not too terrible. I think the hard part is playing it around Night Stalker, right? Because you're going to have to play into darkness, and sometimes finding that lasso is not going to be so easy, especially that really doesn't come online until you have Blink and Force Staff. And you're also playing into Crits Rubik, who has shown in the past that he has very good reaction time. So you got to also be cautious of those lifts, because if you go in for a lasso and you get lifted right away, your team can't really help you.
As you push tier 2 falling resolution. Moving in, Miracle. He's got himself a bit of time left on this haste rune, and also that Aegis. It's going to be a very hard target for them to jump on if they wish to try and fight. They'll throw out the shards. They'll trap up the Shadow Fiend here. Moving forward as well. Trying to get the slows out. Not really yet fully committing. Empire, they do have that Eclipse ready on silent. Miracle now down to half health. There is actually coming in for the silence with the tombstones being dropped. Omni Slash deleting the Dazzle from the fight. The Crippling Fear's onto No Fear, so there isn't going to be any snowball. Blade Fury as well for No Tail. A double kill for the Jug. Telekinesis onto Resolution. Silent does get out the Eclipse. Trying to fight Resolution. Went for the TP. It doesn't work. Doesn't matter about the Eclipse. They don't get anything.
Again. Oh my God.
GG is called. And in game 1, Empire may have shown some hope, but game 2 is just a whole lot of nope, Andy. 18-5, 14 minutes in.
That was the most dominant performance we've seen so far.
OG are not messing about.
14-minute game. I think a lot of this goes down to the tri-lane from OG. Empire really wanted to protect their Luna. When you pick this hero, a lot of the time, you want to make sure that you have support sitting in the area, sacrificing it when you're trying to play around 5-man during the mid-game, which you obviously want to try when you have a Mech Viper and a Luna in conjunction with each other, and then you have the Bat Rider for pick. On paper, it sounds really good, but OG's tri-lane just could not be contested. And No Fear, with Aloha Dance sticking around the entire time and still not really accomplishing much during the early game, I think really hindered any chance they had of taking this.
Absolutely, just no tells, Jug. 9 kills, 4 assists, didn't die at all.
It was the dream game for him.
It literally was.
There was no pressure, because Tusk Dazzle against Juggernaut as a core matchup is very easy for the Jug, because Snowball comes in, you can just spin TP, unless you have a level 6 Tusk, which obviously, I mean, he hit 6 as the game ended. So, yeah, didn't have to worry about that either.
Yeah, not the greatest of showings there from Empire, but we saw hope from them in game 1. Game 3, maybe they can bring it back. The series, of course, standing at 2-0 at the moment. So do stick around, see if Empire have what it takes to manage to get a game from OG, or if OG essentially leave this LAN without losing a single game at Dota 2. We'll be right back. We'll go to a short ad break and then over to the panel.